Today's story follows a man who did not know he was walking on a cliff until life pushed him right to the edge. This is a story of fear, mercy, awakening, and the invisible battle happening inside every home where someone has stopped listening. What begins as a midnight emergency becomes a journey into the unseen, where God speaks in the quiet and the dark tries its hardest to swallow a family whole. Take a deep breath with bliss and enjoy the story. Marcus Turner was not a bad man, just a tired one. A man who convinced himself that providing for his family meant never being present in it. He sat at his desk late at night, drowning in work he secretly despised. The house was quiet, too quiet. Silence has a way of telling the truth when no one else will. Then his phone buzzed. Unknown number. He almost ignored it. Habit is a dangerous sedative. But something inside him tugged at him, a strange, deep pull in his gut that did not feel like fear yet. It felt like warning. He answered, "Mr. Turner, your son is at County General Hospital. He is conscious but unstable. He is asking for you." The room spun. Jordan, his son, the son who had been pulling away for months, the son Marcus kept promising to talk to, but never did. "What happened?" Marcus asked. "We will explain when you get here." The line died. The world changed. Marcus grabbed his keys. His hands shook. His breath was shallow. He ran out into the night as if he could outrun regret. The sky cracked open. Rain slammed against the windshield like handfuls of rocks. The road was empty, but Marcus's mind was overflowing. Every ignored conversation, every missed moment, every sign he pretended not to see, it all came crashing back. He gripped the wheels so tightly his knuckles turned pale. "God, please, please, do not let anything happen to my son." The prayer came out raw, unplanned. A man reaching out for something he forgot he needed. Something stirred inside him, not a voice, more like a memory of a voice. You cannot fix what you refuse to face. He swallowed hard. Lightning carved through the sky. The storm outside felt easier to understand than the one inside his chest. County General smelled like bleach and tears. Marcus moved through the hallways like a man who had been dropped into a nightmare he caused himself. Jordan lay in a hospital bed, smaller than Marcus remembered, fragile, bandaged. "Dad," Jordan whispered, "I messed up. I'm right here. I went to that party because I felt alone. You always looked too busy to talk." The truth cut deeper than any injury. "I failed you," Marcus whispered. "I thought being a provider was enough. I forgot to be your father." Jordan grabbed his hand. "I prayed, Dad. I prayed not to die. I asked God to let me see you again." Tears rolled down Marcus's face. Something cracked inside him, something he had kept shut for too long. A quiet whisper settled into his heart. "You were never meant to carry all of this alone."
Hours passed. While Jordan slept, a nurse walked in with a small, folded paper. "Your son asked me to give this to you earlier," she said. Jordan blinked. "I did not give her anything." Marcus unfolded the paper. "Awake, you who sleep. Arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light." Ephesians 5:14. Marcus looked up to ask the nurse about it. She was gone, vanished down the hallway as if she had never been there at all. A cold shiver ran down his spine. The next morning, Marcus took Jordan home. The house was quiet, uncomfortably quiet. Jordan went to his room to rest. Marcus walked into the kitchen, then froze. Written on the window, in fading condensation, was the same verse, Ephesians 5:14. He backed away slowly. The air felt heavier, like something invisible was watching. He checked his phone. No signal. That night, Jordan woke up at 3 in the morning, drenched in sweat. The hallway outside his door creaked. Slow footsteps. Too slow to be Marcus. Then a gentle knock. "Dad?" Jordan whispered. Silence answered. The doorknob rattled. Panic exploded in Jordan's chest. He sprinted to Marcus's room and shook him awake. Marcus grabbed a lamp and followed Jordan into the hallway. Empty. But the window at the end of the hall was open, and written across the glass was a message that drained the blood from Marcus's face. "Wake up before it is too late." Marcus sat Jordan down in the kitchen. The floor creaked beneath their feet, like it was listening. "I went through something like this when I was your age. Strange sounds, words written on my windows. It was not a haunting. It was God trying to wake me up before I ruined my life." Jordan's eyes widened. "Is that happening to us now?" "Yes," Marcus said. "It is happening again." Jordan fell into a heavy sleep, filled with shadows and light. A dark road, a bright light calling his name, a voice saying, "Come home, both of you." Then a shadow grabbed his ankle. "You belong to me," it whispered. Jordan woke up screaming. Marcus rushed in and held him as he shook. "Dad, something is after us," Marcus whispered in his ear. "Nothing can take what God claims, but the enemy will try." Later that night, Marcus went downstairs for water. The living room stood still. A family photo fell off the wall, shattering at his feet. Then every cabinet in the kitchen slammed open. Jordan screamed upstairs. Marcus sprinted to his room. Smoke filled the doorway. He expected flames. Instead, he found Jordan kneeling, praying through tears. The smoke vanished the moment Marcus touched his shoulder. Jordan whispered, voice shaking. "Something tried to stop me from praying." It is a battle. Not a haunting. A battle.
They prayed together in the living room, not timid, not polite, loud, honest, desperate. The lights flickered. The house trembled. A cold wind rushed through the hallway. Jordan's voice cracked. "Dad, what is happening?" Marcus kept praying. "Do not stop, no matter what." Then a burst of white light filled the hall. Sharp, blinding, fierce. The shaking stopped instantly. A peace settled over the house that felt almost unreal. Jordan whispered, "Was that?" Marcus nodded. Tears slid down his face. Yes, that was God stepping in. People think darkness is loud. It is not. It whispers. It creeps. It waits for silence so it can sneak in. But heaven does not whisper when it comes to rescue. Heaven roars. Marcus and Jordan stepped into a war that had been waiting for them for years, a war for their minds, their hearts, their home. A war they did not invite, but one they could not avoid. Because when God decides to wake you up, nothing in heaven or hell can hold you down. The house was peaceful for 2 days. Too peaceful. That kind of peace feels like a held breath, the kind right before something breaks. Marcus felt it. Jordan felt it. Even the walls seemed to pulse with waiting. Jordan sat at the kitchen table, sipping warm tea like it was holy water. "Dad, it is calm. Why is it calm?" Marcus lowered his voice. "Because the enemy is planning something. Darkness gets quiet when it is cornered." Jordan clenched his jaw. "Great. Love that." Marcus smirked a bit. "Look, son, do not fear the quiet. Fear the times you think you can handle life alone." Then came the knock at the front door. One single knock. Soft. Too soft. The knock came again. They looked at each other, nerves buzzing. Jordan whispered, "Are we opening that?" Marcus stood up. "We are not hiding in our own home." He walked to the door, put his hand on the lock, and paused. The air behind the door felt cold, like winter leaning against it. He opened it, and his heart dropped. It was the nurse from the hospital. Or rather, something that looked like her. She stood perfectly still. Her smile was wrong. Her eyes were too dark, too empty. "Marcus, you never thanked me for the message." Jordan stepped back. "Dad, that is not a person." Marcus felt it too. The air around her rippled like heat coming off asphalt. "What do you want?" Marcus asked. Her smile widened. "To finish what I started." She stepped forward, and for a split moment, her shape flickered, like static in human form. Jordan whispered, "Dad, she's shifting." Marcus planted his feet. "Get behind me." Jordan obeyed, without question. The figure looked at Marcus with an expression that was not human at all. "You woke up. You were supposed to stay asleep. Your guilt was supposed to bury you. Your work was supposed to blind you. But then you started praying." Its voice wavered. Somewhere inside the distortion was frustration, almost anger. "Prayer ruins everything," it hissed. Marcus felt something rise inside him that he didn't have before. Boldness, authority, the kind people forget they have. "You have no place in this home," Marcus said. The figure tilted its head. "I had a place for years, in the silence, in the distance between you and your son, in your exhaustion, in your self-doubt. I fed on it." Jordan clenched his jaw. "Not anymore." The figure's eyes flickered, and the house groaned. Lights blinked. The temperature shifted. "You think you can push me out?" it sneered. Marcus took a step forward. "I know I can, and I know who stands with me."
The living room shook. Pictures tilted. Wind rushed through the hall, even though the windows were closed. Jordan grabbed Marcus's arm. "Dad, it is trying to scare us." Marcus nodded. "Fear is all it has."
The figure stepped backward into the living room, and the shadows behind it thickened like ink spilling from a broken jar. Jordan whispered, "Dad, the shadows are moving." Marcus squeezed his shoulder. "Then we stop running." He walked right into the living room. The figure hissed like a broken speaker. "You cannot fight what you cannot see," it said. Marcus lifted his head. "I do not need to see it. I just need to speak." He closed his eyes and prayed. Not fancy, not poetic, raw, loud, full of authority. "God, this home belongs to you. I am done letting fear make decisions for my family. I am done letting silence grow roots in our hearts. Wherever this darkness came from, wherever it tried to settle, it cannot stay here, not any longer. In the name of Jesus, this ground is holy now." The shadows recoiled. Jordan joined him, voice shaky but strong. "God, take what is yours." The lights burst bright. A wind surged through the room, not cold, but warm, heavy, strong. It felt like fire without heat, power without destruction. The figure screamed. Its shape broke apart like pieces of static fading into nothing. The shadows scrambled backward as if running from something massive. The room filled with a presence that made both Marcus and Jordan fall to their knees. Peace, but not the quiet kind, the powerful kind. The kind that crushes darkness simply by existing. And just like that, the house exhaled. Everything went calm. Really calm. Finally calm. The next morning, sunlight poured into the house like it had been waiting years for permission. Jordan opened every window and smiled. "It feels different." Marcus nodded, "Because we are different." Jordan looked at his father for a long second. "Dad, thank you for fighting with me." Marcus pulled him into a rare, tight hug. "Thank you for waking me up." They stood there in the sunlight, a father and son who had survived far more than a bad night. They survived the battle that lives in every family, the battle between silence and connection, between fear and truth, between running and returning. And they chose the right side. Some wars are loud, others are quiet, but every spiritual battle has the same purpose: to separate people from God and from each other. Marcus and Jordan learned that darkness doesn't need to roar to destroy a family. Sometimes all it needs is distance. Sometimes all it needs is silence. But when a person calls on God with sincerity, heaven does not hesitate. Heaven steps in fast. Heaven steps in strong. Heaven steps in like a warrior. Marcus thought the story began with a midnight phone call, but the truth is, it began long before that. It began the moment he forgot that love needs presence, that faith needs time, that family needs attention, and God used the dark to bring him back into the light. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more spirit-filled stories.